everybody. We are playing day 2 of Fear Me, and I'm recording this the day after the the day after. Oh, uh, Hello, everybody. Today we are playing day 2 of Fear Me. I am playing this the day after playing day 1. And guys, that took me like 4 hours in total to make that video. Hopefully this one takes less time. Okay, load. Back. You manage to feel the footsteps of several people heading your way, so you surrender to the exhaustion and pain. Day 2. You had never felt so much pain before. Sure, you'd stumble, scrape your knee, or burn your fingers with boiling water, normal things. But this was another level. It wasn't the physical pain that bothered you most, but the kind of pain that made you aware of everything that was happening matter more than you wanted it to. The kind of pain that wakes you up, forces you to exist, rips you from the comfort of feeling nothing. To, to top it off, you wanted to sleep. Sleeping had always been your best plan in any situation. But of course, life loves to ruin your plans. Are you awake? The voice was masculine, soft, with that educate tone that inspired confidence. You didn't wake up immediately. You felt your body heavy with fatigue. But after a couple of uncomfortable breaths, you managed to force yourself to see. That is a bright room. I need to turn my volume down. What surrounded you? It it took you a few seconds to realize you were on a hospital gurney. Rough sheets, the smell of disinfectant, and a fluorescent of light of LED bulbs. The good thing, if there was anything good, was that was rece- you were receiving medical care. Hopefully, they wouldn't let you die stupidly after everything you went through last night. Finally, you focused on the sound of the voice. In front of you was a man with a white coat, young, well groomed, with a kind face. Do you know where you are? Okay. Save. Boop. Okay, that's wonderful. Boop. Return. Okay. Hospital. Okay, so that was the right choice. The doctor nodded and wrote something on the papers he was carrying. Good. That's a good sign. Are you writing that down out of paroxysm or because you need to fill space? The doctor raised an eyebrow at you, as if he hadn't expected such a blunt comment, but far from looking offended, he seemed in- intrigued. Both. Your voice was hoarse, and your throat hurt. You swallowed hard, trying to soothe the pain. The doctor gave you a serious look, as if telling you to take it easy. Do you remember your name? turn. Whatever he wants to call you, say your name. Okay. Flirting got us our eyeball stabbed out last time, so say your name. It's Star. Your voice came out hoarse and broken, but clear enough for him to understand. The doctor noted concentrated. Evidently, he was asking you those questions to find out how distorted your head was. All right, do you know why you're here? You didn't answer immediately. The image appeared on its own. A scarred face, sunken eyes, a distorted smile. And then laughter. That damned laughter. Of course you knew why you were here. Someone attacked me? The doctor appe- uh, the doctor approached and took your hand firmly. He didn't ask if you wanted that gesture. He just did it. This place is safe. Why are you touching my hand? I don't think this is part of the procedure, my guy. He can't hurt you now. How do you know it's a he? You stared you stared at his hand over yours. You didn't know what was worse. Oh my god. You didn't know what was worse. The pain or how strange it felt for someone to comfort you in such proper way? Good service, you thought. Maybe they'll bring you free coffee later. He noticed your silence and quickly pulled his hand back. He cleared his throat, embarrassed. Sorry, I haven't introduced myself. Okay, my guess is either I'm gonna get murdered again, or he is. I'm your doctor, Paul Slazer. It took you a second to process. Nice to meet you, Dr. Slazer. I'd say I would have liked to meet you in another situation, but you know. He offered a brief smile, unsure whether to laugh or apologize again. I'll explain your situation a bit. He straightened up, becoming more serious. You have head injuries. We need to monitor you for vomiting. Oh my god, why can't I speak? You have head injuries. We need to monitor you for vomiting, dizziness, or loss of consciousness. You also have some minor cuts. You don't need stitches, but no scratching or touching them. Understood? The exact moment he said it, the itch attacked you. Damn suggestion. The most important thing now, you suffered fixation. Don't strain yourself. Don't talk much. If you feel dizzy or have trouble breathing, let us know. You nodded in silence, settling slowly onto the gurney. The fabric of the gown scratched your skin a little. The mattress smelled of disinfectant. Everything smelled of disinfectant. And about your eye. His tone changed, as if he was about to deliver very bad news. I'm sorry, we couldn't save it. Well, yeah, he ripped it out my socket. Cold, as if someone had opened a window in the middle of winter. Instinctively, you raised a trembling hand to the left side of your face. Just bandages, just emptiness. You had imagined losing things, objects, relationships, time, but this was different. Losing pieces. You'll be able to live a normal life, he said quickly, as if wanting to remedy your situation. You'll you'll lose some depth perception. Um, mm, you'll lose some depth perception, but it won't impede your life. Later, you can opt for a prothe- pers- for a prosthetic if you wish. Now, thing is the important thing is that it heals well. He noticed your silence. Your lack of reaction made him uncomfortable. He leaned slightly towards you. Are you okay, sir? You're okay. You will be okay. I'll say you will be okay. I'll be fine. It's just one eye. I have another. I feel like we just jinxed ourselves right there. You didn't know if that was true, but it didn't matter. You didn't say it. You didn't say it for him. He said it to cut off the conversation. Talking hurt. Listening did too. I don't like this dude's name. It has all the letters that I have trouble saying. Slasher looked at you, as if wanting to read something more on your face, but he only found the usual apathy. You don't have to pretend to be strong. We have professionals you can talk to. I'm not pretending. I just don't care. There it was, the barriers, subtle but solid. That's that's subtle. You didn't want comfort. You didn't want company. You just wanted to be left alone. For a second, the silence in the room weighed more than the pain in your body. Is there any uh, is there anyone you'd like to call? Any family, a friend, a partner? You didn't want to admit your life was solitary, but you couldn't just lie to your doctor. Hmm. Okay. You don't have family. You don't talk to your family, or your family lives in another city. I understand. Doc- Doctor scratched his head awkwardly. I feel like that was the wrong option, but we're rolling with it. Previously, why you don't want to say anything in the first place? There must be someone in the city you're in contact with, right? A coworker? Talking about work reminds you of a certain person. What time is it, Doctor? Doc- Dr. Slazer shook his wrist and glanced at his watch. It's 4 a.m. 4 a.m.? Why are we up so early? Or why are you waking me up so early, Doc? Why? There's someone I can call, but it's very early. Someone attacked you. They'll understand. You pursed your lips into a line with doubt. You didn't have much closeness with her, but you couldn't think of anyone else. Alright, I'll give you her number. You wrote a phone number on a piece of paper and handed it to him. Staff member Staff members will be coming by to oh my God, monitor you. You can ask them for whatever you need. Okay. Dr. Slasher nodded silently at your affirmation and headed for the room door. But before leaving, he turned to you. When you feel better, you can talk to the police. For now, rest. And with that, the doctor left the room, leaving you with your thoughts. He vaguely remembered hearing people approaching you when you passed out in the alleyway. They surely, they, sur- they surely scared Jeff away. The important thing is that you're safe and monitored. There's no way Jeff can reach you, right? We jinked ourselves again. I swear to God, if he pops out of nowhere, if I have the option, I'm punching him in the face. It wasn't. It wasn't strange that you worried about it, since the last thing he told you was that he would hunt you down until he found you. But again, You were in a hospital, so it was supposed to be safe. All that thinking exhausted you again, so you settled into the gurney to rest. A few minutes, a few minutes, you wanted to sleep, even if it was for a few minutes. Were you having PTSD? As you slept, you could have sworn you felt a caress on your cheek. It was, it was soft and delicate. Fingers tracing your right cheekbone, moving down your jaw to lightly brush your lips. Okay, there. Jeff is back, or our doctor is being weird. Opening your single eye, you scan the room, looking for whoever might have touched you while you slept. Oh, it's her. Okay, hello, Sydney. But you only saw Sydney. Star! Suddenly, and to your great surprise, she wrapped her arms around your shoulders, leaning in for a tight hug. You froze. I thought you wouldn't wake up. Oh, thank goodness. Sydney pulled away from you, treating you with a treating you with a delicacy. Oh my God. Treating you with a delicacy you weren't used to. It it is it your imagination, or is it as if Sydney were playing a role of your best friend? She, she was far your best friend. You only knew her for a while. Okay, you were the one who gave Saz, Slazar her contact, but only because she's the closest person you have on hand. So, a best friend. Um, that's what's with all the affection. A, a ray seemed to strike Sydney, making her recoil with a dismayed expression. I, I don't know, but it's like you suddenly became very important. So you weren't before? Okay, Sydney and the doctor, or me, are going to be the next person to die. We got top 3 contestants from being murdered. But say, who do you think is going to be? Okay, one thing. No, I think it's the letters that I'm moving that's messing me up. Okay, one thing is you thinking that about yourself personally, but it hurt a little to hear someone else say it. When I found out what happened to you, I came right away. I didn't want you to be alone right now. How are you feeling? Cindy sat in the chair to your right, this time maintaining a more cordial distance. Understandably, you only understandable. You only worked in the same store. A little pain, but I think overall I'm fine. Sydney lowered her gaze with concern, then raised it to you. She sighed heavily, bringing her fingers to her forehead. I told you to be careful. That comment was unnecessary. Are you victim blaming me right now? Was she trying to blame you? As if what happened was your fault and not the bastard who ripped out your eye? I remind you, I was attacked. It's not my fault. I didn't mean I. Now you're, now you're supposed to be carrying coworker. What a bad joke. Star. It wasn't the volume of her voice, nor the fact that she called you by your name. It was her heartbreaking tone that made you stop. I I don't understand myself either. I don't think you matter. I didn't think you mattered so much to me. Hey, you were you were on the verge of dying. I was terrified. It was like you started to develop a gravitational field, and now several people are revolving around you. Jeff, Stazar, Sydney. It it only took a madman to to stalk you and rip out your eye, right? I don't know how to explain it, but I'm worried about you. Can you stop being an idiot about it and just accept it? You couldn't help but fall silent at her declaration. You'd be lying if you said your heart didn't beat fast. Thank her, questioner. Um, questioner. Okay, that was good. By any chance, did you caress me while I slept? But what? By any chance, did you caress me while I was sleeping? That sounds so wrong. Si- Sydney stared at you expressionlessly. Ew, no. Yes, that was the Sydney, you know. Okay, so Doctor is being weird or Jeff is somewhere in the room. Well, then who was it? What do I know? It's not like Sydney stopped speaking, as if a thought had just struck her. The one who attacked you. It was the same weirdo from the store? I After a light knock on the room, two people appeared. Perfect timing to interrupt your conversation. Who are you? Good evening, sir. We're Lieutenant Weiss and Detective Scene. Can we ask you a few questions? You looked at the police with your one eye. A man and a woman, dressed in formal attire. The man spoke, showing his bag, and the woman, Detective, mm, Detective Scene, did the same. They looked at you seriously, but at the same time, they didn't seem very worried about you. Rather, it seemed they were more interested in what you had to say. Your doctor told us you had visitors. If if it's more comfortable with you, we can do the interview with her present. Sir just woke up. They need rest. Sydney spoke over her shoulder to them, uninterested in their presence. The sooner we talk, the sooner we'll catch whoever did this to you. Heat rose from your chest to your head, to your eye socket. You didn't know if it was a response from your body or just anger towards Jeff, but you managed to hide it. It's okay, Sydney. I'll answer what I can. The the why am I having such a hard no. The, the detectives seemed to relax a little at your words. They stood on the other side of your bed, Wes standing next to you, making eye contact to convey more trust, while Scene took out a notebook to take Notes. Classic. Good cop, bad cop. Let's start with the most important thing. Did you see your attacker? Oh yeah, it wasn't pretty. Could you give us more details? Like his social security number? You were joking, obviously. You were in a hospital bed with one eye missing and and on painkillers. You were allowed to have some fun. They're asking if it was a man or a woman. Height, good, clothes. Okay, I'm not stupid, Sydney. I know. Jeez, nobody appreciates a joke. It was a man. White, tall, I don't know, maybe 6'3". My god, he's tall. He was wearing a white hoodie. Terrible clothes for a criminal, if you ask me. Agreed. He glanced at Sydney. Easy, easy, since she was on your right side. She had a thoughtful, mm, she had a thoughtful expression. Most likely, she had concluded you were talking about Jeff, or as she knew him, the weirdo from the store. Any special characteristics? His face was messed up, if you know what I mean. The three of them looked at you in silence for a few seconds. You felt pressure to give more details. He had many scars. His mouth, it was ripped. Sydney looked so disgusted with the description that she seemed about to vomit. Okay, it wasn't even that detailed, Sydney. You need to watch some more horror movies. Weeze and Sam exchanged a silent glance, then looked back at you. Alright. Did anything unusual happen the day of your attack? I think the I think the normal amount of weird that we all have in a day. Stop messing around. Sydney scolded you, not shouting, but messy, using an elevated tone that made you pout. There was a weird guy who showed up at the store. What would you define as weird? Sydney rolled her eyes. Wow, you didn't see Sydney as someone who rebelled against authority. He went he went on and on for over an hour. He was very interested in Star. We Wes di- distracted his attention to you, raising an eyebrow. Did you interact with him? Exaggerate. I feel like I can get arrested if I exaggerate the situation, so tell the truth. Well, truthfully, I flirted with him a little. Okay, maybe we shouldn't. Okay, no. Okay. We couldn't have exaggerated. You felt everyone in the room judging you. What? Yeah, it was strange, but it was almost cute. There he grew more more uncomfortable. Did he say anything about himself? Any motive or why he left you alive? I'm starting to regret being truthful. The question surprised you, as if they were surprised you had survived. Well, she wasn't entirely wrong to ask you, since it was personally Jeff's threat that kept you alive. You might have revealed that part of the information by a slip of tongue, but Sydney interrupted you. You could say anything. What kind of question is that? We're building a profile of the suspect. Any details could help us. The guy literally has his face covered. He's full of scars. What more do you want? How how can you not find someone like that? Miss, you need to calm down. No. For a case like this, with that physical description, you should already be looking for him. The longer it takes, the further he might be. The room felt silent for a few moments. You felt awkward about the argument. You're right. We'll stop for now. But Lieutenant Star needs to rest. Okay, so dude, you're like the only sane person in this room. Stay with me, please. Let's guide you towards the room exit. Turning back to you one last time. Get well. No, dude, don't leave me in here. Don't leave me in here with Sydney. We're gonna get murdered. You nodded in silence, watching them leave. Alright, you're you're alone with Sydney. This time the silence was heavy with many questions. Questions that surely would have been useful for catching Jeff. Sid- Sydney mumbled to herself, but then noticed your gaze on her, so she straightened in her seat as if nothing had happened. Don't worry, sir. They'll find him. Should you mention Jeff's promise? It it would probably be the smartest thing to do, but for now, you allowed yourself just to ask one thing. Hey, Sydney, you don't like cops? Sydney stared, straightened in her seat. Her face paled. She averted her gaze, rubbing her fingers in, uh, indecisively. Indecisively? It was clear she didn't want to answer. It's okay, forget about it. You brushed it off with a smile and wave of your hand. Fortunately, Sydney seemed to relax. I, I'm going to get breakfast. I'll be back in a minute. No, Sydney, don't leave me. Don't leave me. Sydney, no. Okay, will you bring me something? No. We're stupid. Sure. What would you prefer? Something sweet, something salty. Um, Something sweet. Sydney nodded and stood up. She she headed for the room door, but before she could grasp a handle, somebody else opened it. Sydney moved aside, letting the doctor in. She gave a brief greeting, glancing at him before leaving the room. That's not our doctor. You, that is not our doctor. We're gonna die. We're gonna die. You watched the doctor into the room in silence, carrying a metal tray. We're gonna die. We're gonna die. Nope, that's Jeff. That is clearly Jeff. You remembered Dr. Slazer warning you that they would come periodically to monitor you. He's gonna poison us. He began to move his hands, preparing whatever was on the tray. Be nice. Be cool. Okay. What did that sound like a gun? Be nice. Hello? The doctor didn't respond, blatantly ignoring you as he went about his business. Anyway, your throat felt dry. Excuse me, can I have some water? The doctor suddenly froze and stayed like that for a few seconds. Then he moved again. You could only see the doctor's back from your spot. You heard the you heard the unmistakable sound of water being poured. The sample sound made you thirstier, most likely because your sore throat began to be refreshed. The doctor took a few steps and approached you. That is Jeff. That is Jeff. We're gonna get murdered. You tried to sit up, but your body felt heavy. You felt a hand on your back, helping you straighten up. We're gonna die. The touch felt soft and attentive. It made you realize how vulnerable you were. When you were, then you felt the rim of the glass at your lips. You drank water slowly, your throat burning but relieved by the coolness. You didn't just take a sip. When you finished, you sighed with relief, glancing at the doctor attending to you. He His bangs covered his features. He wore a disposable mask. We're gonna die. Well, well, well. Where, where had you seen that before? Talk to him, thank him, mock him. Okay, look, thank him. Thank you, doctor. You decided you decided to feign ignorance. Maybe that would buy you some time for someone to show up. Perhaps a real doctor or Sydney. The doctor didn't respond and went back to his previous spot, doing whatever he was doing. After drinking water, you felt better and could speak. According to Dr. Slash, according to Dr. Slasher's instructions, you shouldn't talk much. But you felt well enough to maintain a conversation, even if unilliterated. Distract. Dist- distrust. Distrust. Flirt. No, it's great. Our character already figured it out. Flirt. I think we're gonna get murdered. Making all the wrong decisions. If I had known they'd take such good care, I would have come here more often. It was quite obvious that this doctor had no interest in getting along with you. You didn't know whether to take it personally or not. I think you should. You, you would expect to be treated with care in the hospital, but everything. Oh my god. Sorry, guys. I'm being loved for boarded by a dog. Dude, smooth. You can't lay on top of me. You're too chunky. Oh no, what? But everything indicated that wouldn't be the case. Negotiate. Oh, I see. Get that. I didn't. Oh my god, stop it. I didn't introduce myself first. I'm sorry, and who do I have the pleasure of meeting? The doctor continued to remain silent. He was starting to annoy you. One more try. Maybe you could get some words out of him. If you insist one last time. Mm. Um. Okay. You know. Okay. So that one, we have at least one good pick. Someone attacked me. The doctor remained motionless in his spot. I mean, it was someone I talked to at my job. I guess he didn't like me. Oh, I wouldn't say that. The doctor suddenly murmured, his voice too familiar. The doctor returned to your side, pulling down his disposable mask to his chin. I knew it. Jeff, what a surprise! I didn't know it was you. Hello there. I don't appreciate your sarcasm. Well, too bad. That's too bad. I'm being sarcastic with you. Your heart pounded, a response to the proximity of the person who ripped out your left eye. Your body was afraid, but your mind wasn't. So, did you come to give me a special care? Jeff chuckled, pulling a syringe from his pocket. Okay. Something like that. Wait, what are you doing? He brought the syringe to your IV and ejected it into the tubing. Oh, relax. It won't kill you. What are you doing? It'll make you feel a little ag- agitated. The moment he said that, you felt your heart start to pound faster. You began to breathe rapidly, as if you had ran a marathon. Instinctively, you brought your hand to your chest, clutching the fabric of the hospital gown. You bastard. Jeff clicked his tongue, shaking his head. Have some respect from your doctor. You just poisoned me. Jeff reached his head towards you and held hand towards your chin between his fingers, lifting your head to look at him. Feeling weak and tired, you let yourself be held. Too drained to scream for help or break free from his grasp. Remember, we're playing. I'm, I'm, I'm in the hospital. How do you expect me to escape you? You're a cheater. He gasped in frustration, lacking the energy to speak properly. Consider it a warning. Jeff shrugged, unconcerned. Suddenly, a alarm began to blare, and sound of rapid footsteps came from outside the room. That's my cue. Jeff put on his mask back and stood up. I hope you improve your strategy. It would be a shame if you end up boring me, he said before disappearing among the small crowd of nurses and doctors who enter- entered and headed for you. We have severe hyperchemia. Administer oh my god. I don't know how to say these words. Administer column gluten instructively. 10 ml of 10% solution slowly. Now. Amidst oh my god. Amidst instructions and medical junction you didn't fully understand. Your you eyed Jeff suspiciously as he returned as if nothing happened, hidden in plain sight. It was really that easy for him to infiltrate. Can we point him out? It's like, yo, that's the guy who attacked me. Either Jeff had superhuman ability to go unnoticed, or people in this hospital were inspect. He wanted to believe it was the first option. Anyway, they were able to treat you quickly, so you felt conscious, considerably better. If you notice compromised kidney function, order urgent dialysis. Dr. Salazar was given instructions to another doctor, one you were sure was a resident. The resident nodded at doctor's order and withdrew, leaving you two alone. Dr. Salazar rubbed his temples. He has more than one head, and came to your bedside. He gazed reflected concern, so you couldn't help but look away, feeling guilty. Star, you suffer severe hypochromia. Do you have any idea what have caused it? You bit your lower lip at the question. You were having a hard time convincing yourself to trust anyone with the whole Jeff situation. Look, I need at least one person to go be with me here. But his quick actions and attentiveness, care, convince you that he was trustworthy. The truth is, my attacker came. He did something to me, put something in my IV. Dr. Slazer's eyes widened in surprise, then lowered his gaze with pity. I'm sorry, sir. This was supposed to be a safe place. I failed you. Why are you crying? I'm the one who almost got murdered again. I failed you. You took the doctor's hand in yours and tried to offer a comforting smile. It's not It's not your fault. I know you were doing your best. Dr. Salazar looked silently at your intervening hands, then stroked the back of your hand with his thumb. You couldn't help but feel your chest flush slightly. It's not a very conventional idea, but I can get you out of here to a safe place. That didn't sound very professional. It was almost as if he wasn't acting seriously like a doctor, but rather trying to charm you. Mm, okay. We're gonna get murdered. But you no longer trusted the hospital. Anything else sound better to you? Let's do it. Dr. Shaw quickly handled the paperwork to discharge you, giving you your clothes and wheeling you through the hospital quarters. Where are we going? To my house. Wow, inviting me to dinner first? Wow, invite me to dinner first. Dr. Slasher chuckled behind you, pushing the wheelchair. I performed surgery on you. We already skipped a few steps. At least you could take things with humor. You arrived at the elevator. Dr. Dr. Slasher let you in first, leaving you with your back to the doors. Did you see Sydney? Yes, nice girl. Although a little nitpicky, the, those are your words, not mine. You fell silent when you heard the elevator doors open. You waited silently for someone to come up and press a button, but instead you heard a muffled sound of a struggle behind you. Oh, okay. We're gonna kidnapped again. You looked in the mirror in front of you. You were surprised to see that Dr. Slasher was no longer behind you. Well, hey, I was right. He got murdered. The elevator doors were open, revealing a dark hospital hallway. Doctor, you called, trying to get a response, but nothing. Too bad. That voice made you shudder. Jeff? Who's cheating now? Oh. After the mockery, Jeff takes a step toward, revealing himself at the threshold of the elevator. I. Our game is between you and me, no one else. But it doesn't matter anymore. The game is over. Oh. Hello? Why are you so close? Jeff walked into the elevator, looking at you from the mirror. His tone was mocking, but his eyes were bloodshot. Slowly, he pulled out his knife, just as slowly, directed it towards your stomach. You gasped in anticipation. You know what was coming, yet anxiety overwhelmed you. In the same slow and calm way, Jeff buried the knife blade into your stomach, passing it through your clothes into your core. You doubled over in pain, but Jeff forced you to straighten up after wrapping his arm around your neck. You felt his breath through the mask against your ear. You clenched your teeth so hard it hurt your mouth. Shh, go to sleep, he whispered, burying the blade deeper inside you. The pain was so much that you couldn't scream, but the way he treated you, holding in a holding you in a hug while comforting you with whispers, gave you the impression that he was talk taking some consideration. He could have been much crueler. Maybe who maybe he was being a little concerted because you're you were a brief playmate. You died. Is there any text? Ending 3. You didn't play it long. menu. Load. Um, okay. I'm gonna start back here and say something salty. Cindy nodded and stood up. She headed for the room door, but before she could grasp the handle, someone else opened it. Cindy moved aside, letting the doctor in. She gave a brief greeting, glancing at him before leaving the room. Hello there, doctor. He watched the doctor enter the room in silence, carrying a metal tray. You remember Doctor You remember Dr. Slager warning you that they would come periodically to monitor you. He began to move his hands, preparing whatever on the tray. Okay, we were nice before, so be cold. Yeah, okay. Hey, are you here to monitor me or something? You received no answer. You sighed and looked away. You didn't know if it was a response to trauma or something else, but you felt a certain aversion to this tall man, dressed in white with long black hair. He's suspicious, isn't he? Anyway, your throat felt dry. Excuse me, could I have some water? The doctor suddenly froze and stayed like that for a few seconds. Then he moved again. You could only see the doctor's back from your spot. You could hear the unmistakable sound of water being poured. The simple sound made you thirsty, most likely because you swore your sore throat began to be refreshed. The doctor took a few steps and approached you. You tried to sit up, but your body felt heavy. You felt a hand on your back, helping you straighten up. The touch was soft and attentive. It made you realize how vulnerable you were. Then you felt the rim of the glass at your lips. You drank water slowly, your throat burning, but relieved by the coolness. You didn't you didn't just take a sip. Then you finished. When you finished, with you sighed with relief, glancing at the doctor attending to you. His bangs covered his features, and he wore a disposable mask. Well, well, well. Where had you seen that before? Mock him. How many years of medical school did it take you to know that on oh my god, how many years of medical school did it take you to know that an unconscious patient needs hydration, doc? You were playing with fire, but the situation was so bizarre you couldn't take it seriously. The doctor didn't respond and went back to his previous spot, doing whatever he was doing. After drinking water, you felt better and could speak. According to Dr. Sayer's instruction, you shouldn't talk much, but you felt well enough to maintain a conversation, even if unintelligible. I think I don't think flirting did anything to distrust. Okay, distrust. Are you really a doctor? It was quite obvious that this doctor had no interest in getting along with you. You didn't know whether to take it personally or not. You could expect to be treated with care in a hospital, but everything indicated that wouldn't be the case. Negotiate complaint. I think okay. We tried negotiating last time, so complaint. Okay. Hey, if you don't feel like getting along with people, I think you should revalorate your. Oh my god. Hey, if you don't feel like getting along with people, I think you should reevaluate your career. Did you hear me? The doctor continued to remain silent. He was starting to annoy you. One more try. Maybe you could get some words out of him if you insisted one last time. Okay, I think we got a heart for tell him what happened to you. Yeah, okay. You know, someone attacked me. The doctor remained motionless in his spot. It was someone I talked to at my job. I guess he didn't like me that much. Oh, I wouldn't say that. The doctor suddenly murmured, his voice too familiar. The doctor returned to your side, pulling down his disposable mask to his chin. Hello. Jeff, what a surprise! I didn't know it was you. I don't appreciate your sarcasm. Your heart pounded. A response to the proximity of the person who ripped out your left eye. Your body was afraid, but your mind wasn't. So did you come here to give me special care? Jeff chuckled, pulling a syringe from his pocket. Something like that. Okay, I think this is gonna be the same, so I'm just gonna skip. Wait, what are you doing? Wait, skip. Okay. Keep it to yourself. You decided it was best to deal with it on your own. The fact that Jeff was able to walk into a hospital and eject you with something under guard told you that the protection in this place was not safe. I don't know. I was unconscious the whole time. Dr. Slaughter leaned towards you, placing a hand on the side of your head. Whatever happened, you can trust me. Yeah. No. You you managed to oh my god. You managed to survive so far. You you can continue without someone's help. Call it a family, but something told you Jeff wasn't going to attack you anytime soon. So you had time to form a plan. Jeff didn't hurt you as much as he did before. So he probably meant it so he probably meant it when he said it was a warning. A warning that he could do something worse to you, and it was up to you to prevent it. So no, you didn't have to trust a doctor. Do, you do, doctor you just met. Doctor, I'm telling the truth. Dr. Slazer looked at you for a few seconds, unconvinced, then sighed and dismissed himself. Okay, try to rest. You nodded silently, but unlike before, the doctor called someone from outside the room. A nurse quickly arrived. Be alert to the monitor. If there is any change, report it. The nurse nodded at the instruction and stayed in the room near the heart monitor you had you had connected. Clearly, Dr. Slazar didn't trust leaving you alone. I'll come I'll come I'll come I'll come periodically. You didn't know if he said it to Nurse or to you, but you nodded anyway and laid back on the stretcher with a tired sigh. Surviving a sadistic killer was exhausting. When Sydney arrived and Dr. Salazar you had a mind told her you had a minor seizure, she became so concerned that she con- consisted staying considered staying with you for the rest of the day. Even though you appreciated the mm, even though you appreciated the gesture, you weren't entirely happy with it. So you convinced her to go to work, asking her to cover for you. Anyway, Dr. Salazar gave you a week of rest. Since you were kept under observation, you had to spend the rest of the day and night in the hospital. But when the next morning came, everything was ready. Everything was ready to discharge you. Day 3. Okay, we're gonna. Nope. We're going to stop now. Hopefully, this isn't too long.